This is not an unboxing video. I'm just here to share my first 24 to 48 hour experience with you. Just whatever surprised me and whatever kind of disappointed me during the first phase of usage after unboxing. Now, I'm gonna share a very interesting thing with you. Here's a clip from a Realme 7 video from last year.
The Realme 7 is currently one of the best looking devices under 15,000 rupees. So I was wondering why the Narzo 20 Pro should have anything else apart from this. The way it looks is quite good actually, and that's only when the back is clean, because it's extremely prone to fingerprints and smudges, and just a couple of wipes and you'll see my fingerprints all over the back panel. It's pretty bad, and the quality itself also feels very cheap. It is nowhere near how premium the Realme 7 feels, so huge downgrade in my opinion.
And guess what? Looks like Realme actually took my advice and went for the same design for the Narzo 30 Pro. Both phones look almost identical. By the way, there is a bit of wobbling going on with the power and the volume buttons, which is weird and surprising because the lower end model, the Narzo 30A, has very firm and rigid keys. Another thing that the Narzo 30 Pro does worse than the 30A is avoiding fingerprints and smudges on the back panel. I mean, this is still not very bad. It's still better than the majority of the phones out there. But yeah, just saying. Overall, also, the build quality is just fine. It's as good as the Realme 7. There is a Gorilla Glass 3 protecting the display. That's the only con, I would say. I'm waiting for that day when Realme finally introduces Gorilla Glass 5 to their mid-range phones. Maybe that'll happen when Corning releases Gorilla Glass 8 or 9. Anyway, we don't have to worry as long as we have these amazing tempered glasses from our sponsor, Glazed Ink.
Glazed Ink makes amazingly durable tempered glasses for a lot of phones, including the OnePlus Nord, Poco X3 and so on. What's special about Glazed Ink is, apart from a full glue edge-to-edge glass, they also provide a real curved tempered glass with actual 2.5D glass near the edges, which essentially eliminates the awkward gap on the sides, which you generally get from installing most other tempered glasses in the market. So do check out Glazed Ink, link in the description. Subscribers can use the promo code TJOCK to get 10% discount.
Back to the video, the display itself is very impressive. It's a full HD plus IPS LCD display with 120Hz refresh rate. I think this is the cheapest phone with 120Hz refresh rate. In terms of color accuracy and contrast, it's pretty good, similar to the display on the likes of Realme 7 and Narzo 20 Pro. Realme claims the brightness can reach a maximum of 600 nits. That's significantly higher than the Narzo 20 Pro's display could reach. And of course, using this is a pleasure thanks to the high refresh rate. It's extremely smooth. Overall, happy with the display. Yes, it's not AMOLED, I know, but it's not like many of phones offer AMOLED in this price segment. Redmi, Nokia, Moto, Asus, nobody does. Samsung has a few phones with AMOLED displays, but they're all pretty average phones in terms of overall performance. Good Samsung phones are available only above 17,000-18,000 rupees, like the M31s, M51, etc. So we most likely gotta wait for another year or so for AMOLED displays to become a regular thing in this segment. I did see a rumor about the Redmi Note series having AMOLED, but I'm not sure. Let's wait for it. When it comes to 5G though, Realme doesn't want to wait for it to become a regular thing. This is the first and currently the only phone under 16 or 17,000 rupees to have 5G support. It's dual SIM, dual standby. This has been made possible by the inclusion of MediaTek's latest Dimensity 800U chip, which, if you remember, is the same chip found inside the Realme X7. It's quite comparable to the Snapdragon 750G chip, which is found inside the Mi 10i. But do note that this bears a considerably cheaper price tag. So that got me curious because the 800U is an excellent chip for gaming. And it's really surprising, like suspiciously surprising that a 17,000 rupee phone has it. Maybe they underclocked the chip or something. Well, I played a few games back to back continuously for about 20-25 minutes, and I didn't notice any abnormal issues with respect to the performance. I cannot comment much from my limited usage, but it was similar to how the Realme X7 performs. By the way, the display's 180Hz touch sampling rate also helps while gaming. I forgot to mention that earlier. Next up, cameras. Literally no changes, except for the 2 megapixel depth sensor that has disappeared finally. Anyway, the rest of the setup remains the same. A 48 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. The camera app is not as feature rich as the Realme X7's, but has all the basics, like nightscape works even while using the ultra wide camera. There are 3 cool nightscape modes. Recently shared some samples on my Twitter. I really like the look. Then there is a tripod mode, there's an ultra steady stabilization mode for videos, which works only for 1080p recording. At 4K, stabilization doesn't work. So yeah, you've been seeing some samples. Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you like the photos? And guys, it's not just the cameras. Almost everything else that we have not talked about yet has been copy-pasted from the Realme Narzo 20 Pro. It even runs on the same Realme UI based on Android 10. Now, it's been confirmed that the phone will receive Realme UI 2.0 based on Android 11. That's not a problem. My problem is, brands tend to count it as one major update. Guys, Android 12 is already here. So next year, after giving Android 12 update, it won't be fair of any brand to say that they provided 2 major updates. Anyway, Realme UI has some really nice features and more importantly, less junk. By junk, I mean ads and unnecessary notifications. Not much bloatware either. But there are many apps from Realme themselves, Community, Store, Solo, Realme Pay, etc. Some are okay, but some are unnecessary for most people. So those apps are anyway uninstallable, so not a big deal. One of my favorite things about Realme UI is how fast and snappy it is. Navigating through the UI, the animations, the transitions, everything is smooth. Even more so on this particular device due to the high refresh rate panel. The side-mounted fingerprint scanner is again super fast, it's quite accurate too. I've been using this for over a day and I did not notice any failed attempt while unlocking. Same as the Narzo 20 Pro, nothing new. The loudspeaker performance is surprisingly very good. Sure, it's not a stereo speaker setup, but the single bottom firing speaker gets really loud. The quality is also good. Speaking of audio, the Narzo 30 Pro also has support for high-res audio, which is useful if you have a pair of high-res earphones. Thankfully, it has a headphone jack, so there's that. By the way, this phone is slightly thinner than the Narzo 20 Pro, but despite being thinner, there is a considerable increase in the battery capacity from 4500 mAh to 5000. Not bad at all. And given how optimized and efficient Realme UI is these days, you can expect 1.5 to 2 days battery life. The phone also supports 30-watt fast charging. Now, this is a bit of a bummer because the Narzo 20 Pro had 65-watt fast charging support. In fact, that was the major marketing point for the phone. And now the focus is shifted to the Dimensity 800U chip, which is the ultimate selling point of this phone. Like, this is the cheapest 5G phone. So, do you see what's going on? If a brand decides to launch too many phones in the same price segment, there is only so much they can do. The back panel is similar to the Realme 7's back panel because how many new designs can they come up with? They've used this Dimensity U chip. It's an upper mid-range chip, which is found on the more expensive model Realme X7. So that's like the main selling point of this phone. But on the other hand, they removed 65-watt fast charging, which was the previous model's main selling point. The camera setup is exactly the same, no changes, because obviously it's kind of hard to be able to afford to upgrade every single thing. So yeah, there is a lot of mixing and matching going on. So as a reviewer, this is kind of boring. There is nothing very new for me to test out. So, but if I look at it from a customer's point of view, the 17,000 rupee price tag kind of disappointed me, especially because there is only 64 GB storage. Don't get me wrong, it's still very good for the price. It's just that I feel it's not a replacement for the Narzo 20 Pro. If somebody has a strict 15,000 rupees budget, I would still suggest getting the Narzo 20 Pro because it has 90Hz instead of 120Hz, which is not a big deal. Helio G95 instead of Dimensity 800U. This is quite significant, but right now it's not a very big deal for casual users. And then it's got 4500 mAh battery instead of 5000 mAh. Again, not a big deal at all considering the 20 Pro has 65-watt fast charging. So it's more like Realme introducing a new phone in the 17 to 19,000 rupees segment, filling the gap and not exactly upgrading an existing phone. So What are your thoughts? What do you think? The Redmi Note 10 series is coming soon, so I think things are gonna get very interesting in another couple of weeks. Do you want to see any comparison between the 30 Pro and any other device? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye and take care.